My blue sedan had served me well so far on my road trip. The car had over 200,000 miles on it, but it had always been reliable. The sun was beginning to set, and I was on an isolated rural stretch of highway. I was going to be driving through the night, and I knew this area was going to be dark, really dark. I hoped my cell phone reception would hold. My name is Jake. I'm a 30-year-old architect from Omaha, Nebraska. I was traveling to Madison, Wisconsin to visit my cousin. We were going to take in a Packers game. We both loved football, and the Packers were our team. I looked at my GPS. It read that the next stop was 2 hours away. It's a long way to go. I was tired and had been driving for hours. I looked over at my front seat. I had a map, my duffel bag, and a load of empty snack wrappers. I was hungry, tired, and needed to use the bathroom. The GPS showed a rest stop was about 2 miles ahead. I really didn't want to stop, but I thought, yeah, I should use the pit stop. When I pulled into the rest area, I realized just how remote it was. The rest stop was nearly empty. There were 2 vending machines, a picnic table, and a small, single-building bathroom. I parked next to the only other car there, an old gray pickup truck with tinted windows. I headed for the bathroom. It was dimly lit. There was a hum from the buzzing of the fluorescent lights. The tiles were stained and cracked. Graffiti was on the walls and stall doors. I walked up to the urinal. I looked around over my shoulder. There was a weird feeling or presence about the place. I didn't see anyone else inside. As I began to finish up, I heard the door creak open and footsteps slow and deliberately walking my way. I thought, here we go. A shadow moved past the stall. I zipped up my pants and headed for the sink. As I was washing my hands, I glanced in the mirror, and there was a man standing against the wall behind me. He was tall, pale, and looked to be in his 40s, but I really wasn't sure. He just stood there, silently watching me. He had piercing eyes. It gave me a really bad feeling. I said, "Evening." The man said nothing. I started for the door, and he finally said something. His voice was stern. He said, "You headed east?" I said, "Yeah." He just stared at me. Then he said, "Safe travels." I nodded while quickly grabbing a paper towel to dry my hands and get out of there. I quickly walked back to my car. I checked over my shoulder. The guy was now at the bathroom door, just watching me. I got into my car and locked the doors. I pulled out of the parking lot and glanced in my rearview mirror. He was still just standing there. It was dark now. The sun had set. I wasn't driving more than 2 minutes down the road when I saw headlights appear behind me. It was the pickup truck. Was the guy following me? Or was he just going this way? I decided to switch lanes. The truck followed. I sped up. So did the truck. Oh, come on. This is not good. Not good. I checked my phone and I had no signal. The sky was pitch black. There were no other cars on the road, just me and the old gray pickup truck, which now began tailgating. I gripped the steering wheel and looked around. There were no exits, no towns. Suddenly, a shadow darted across the road. I swerved to miss what looked like a deer. I barely missed it. My tires were screeching. The truck backed off briefly, then it sped up again. I saw a sign that said next exit 3 miles. I put the pedal to the metal, hoping to lose the guy. I took the exit and immediately knew I had made a mistake. The exit led to a narrow dirt road surrounded by woods. No lights, no signs. I drove about a half mile in. I no longer saw the truck, and I was hopeful that I had lost the guy. Suddenly, headlights illuminated from the woods, and the truck reappeared. What the heck? Who is this guy? I threw the car into reverse and tried to turn around. The truck started accelerating towards me. I veered off into the trees. My car was a sedan and not built for off-road. I was bumping violently over roots and rocks. I came to a small clearing and killed the headlights. I sat there in total silence and ducked down low in my seat. I checked my phone again. I had 1 bar. I dialed 911. The operator came on. 911, what's your emergency? I whispered, someone's following me. They tried to run me off the road. I think the guy is trying to abduct me. I'm in, I don't know where, off of Route 6 maybe. The operator said, stay on the line. Could you describe the vehicle? Suddenly, the truck's lights swept into view. It was moving slowly through the trees. I said, it's an old gray pickup, tinted windows. He's here. The operator said, stay hidden. Help is on the way. Keep the line open. I dropped lower in my seat. The truck passed by, scanning the woods slowly. Then there was silence again. Then I could hear crunching of leaves and slow footsteps outside. They were getting closer. I reached under my seat and grabbed a tire iron. A figure appeared at my driver's side window. It was the guy from the bathroom. He said, you shouldn't have come out here. He tried the door handle, which was locked. I raised the tire iron. The guy tapped on the glass. He said, you think you're safe in there? I yelled out, I called the cops. The man's expression went cold. He pulled something from his coat. It was a crowbar, and he smashed the window. I swung the tire iron at him and hit him in the arm. He stepped back. I threw open the passenger door and bolted for the woods. I ran, branches whipping my face. I could hear the man chasing behind me. Not fast, but intentional, deliberate, like he knew the terrain. Up ahead there was a small cabin. I burst inside. It was old, looked abandoned. Dust, cobwebs, broken furniture. I slammed the door shut and wedged a chair under the knob. A few minutes later, the man arrived and appeared to be circling the cabin. I found an old hunting knife on the floor. This was my chance. I held it tightly. I crouched down and listened. Every board creaked. There were footsteps on the roof. Come on. Just hold on. Then there was silence. It was quiet. too quiet. Suddenly there was a crash. A window shattered and the man tried to climb in. I lunged at him and stuck him in the arm with the knife. He fell back. Moments later, there were sirens in the distance. I looked out the window and saw red and blue lights flickering through the trees. The man ran into the woods and disappeared. The police swarmed the cabin. I just sat on the floor, shaking. The deputy knelt down behind me. He said, "You're safe now. An ambulance is on the way." I said, "He was going to kill me, or worse." The deputy just nodded grimly. Then he said, "We've had a few disappearances along this stretch. You might have just survived what others didn't." Over 1,600 people go missing along American highways each year. Some are never found. You were wise to trust your instincts. Never ignore the feeling that you're being followed.